Welcome to the assembly portion of Rick Stivers T90 Rebuild Guide. Caitlin, you think you can handle that transfer case and bring it up here? The big case. Alright. One of the first things you want to make sure you've done before you start assembling, that I recommend anyway, is to paint the case and all the external parts on it and clean it up good. We've already done that with this one, so let's get started. Caitlin?
Yes, sir.
The first thing we're going to do is install the secondary speedometer gear into the rear bearing cap. Okay, get the rear bearing cap. You know what it looks like?
Yes. This?
Nope, right there. Right there. That's it, right there. Okay, this was put in the other night so that we would give instructions, but today we are going to do the install on it, making sure that we've lubricated everything. The other night everything was dry fitted. Today we're going to put everything in. Alright, so you unscrew it, take it out of there, take that gear out of there, give me these parts. Now you had it going. There you go. And you take it out, take the gear out. Alright, this is the driven gear for the bearing cap. Okay, so what you're going to want to do, go ahead and put on your gloves, because you're going to be dealing with assembly lube. What we're using for our assembly is some Dr. Tranny's assembly goo. You can use just about anything, but I do know that this is one that breaks down when it runs in the oil and dissolves, so that you don't end up clogging everything up. Alright, you got your gloves on. Next thing you're ready to do is you need to take a little bit of assembly lube and put it on the end of the gear here. Not a lot. There you go, get you a gob of it. No, a little more than that. There you go. There you go. First thing, actually, before you do that, on the inside of the gear, now that I've stuck the end of it in the inside of the gear is the bushing. You want to go ahead and put grease in that bushing. See the hole that the gear was down inside? There you go. You want to make sure it's got grease down inside there. Put a little more inside there. Go ahead and get you some more. There you go. You can take it off of there. Alright, that's good. Now, go ahead and grease up this part right here. Get more goo. Grease it up good. And make sure you get it all over this gear right here. Doing a lot. Alright, once you got that done, go ahead and install it. Put it down inside there. Into that bushing. Now the other way around. There you go. Put it down in there so that it fits inside the bushing. Okay, you got it in there? Good. Oh, look, since you got the gloves on, okay, we're going to put just a little bit of sealant on these threads right here. Alright, because we want to seal this thing up so that once we close it up, no oil is going to leak out of this transfer case at this point. Okay? Alright, now screw it in there. Hang on, you got to make sure you're in over here. Make sure you're in the bushing. Got it all in. Okay. Now, I know that you don't have a whole lot of strength there, so I'm going to tighten that down just a little bit. There you go. Alright, that's tight. That's good. And it's not going anywhere. That's part one. Okay, if you're using the Model 18 Transfer Case Rebuild Guide, that is step A1. Now, you've got it tight. I've tightened it down. Now make sure that this spins.
This?
Mm-hmm. Does it spin freely?
Yes.
Okay, it's not in a bind or anything, right? Okay, that's what we've done. So that's step 1A of the rebuild guide. This bearing right here, the clutch shaft bearing, we're going to install that into the front bearing retainer. All right, that's going to go in there. See that hole down in there?
Yes.
That's where we want that part to go. You want me to cut that open for you?
Yes, sir.
All right. There you go. Look and make sure it's lubed. It looks like it's all pre-lubed. It's got lots of grease in it already. That's the way the part came. All right. It's going to go down in there.
Right.
Okay, is it catching in a bind? Let's see. Okay, doesn't want to fit. There it goes. Gonna have to push it a little bit and help it. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna tap it down in there.
Please.
Okay, you're gonna use, nope, never anything steel on a bearing. Okay? Okay, now the bearing doesn't want to go all the way down in there, right?
Yes.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to gently tap it down. Now remember, we don't want to use a whole lot of force, and we want to be able to move back and forth. And we never ever hit on the center of this, okay? Because that'll mess up the ball bearing. So you want to hit on these outside edges, go tap it over there, tap it over there, and what we're going to do is try to get it to go down in there. If we have to use too much force, we'll have to take it out and maybe work on cleaning that surface a little better. Okay, go ahead. All right, we've added my grandson Christian into the mix now because he wanted to participate. All right, here we go, folks. What we did is we sanded around the inside of that area because it didn't seem that the bearing wanted to fit, and we've lubed the bearing surface area, and we've lubed the outside of the bearing. So we're just going to sit it down in there, and I'm going to push it just a little bit. And there we go. All right, Kaylin, see if you can drive it down in there.
Here, you can hand it. I'll hold it.
There you go, it's in.
Yay!
All right, we got it all the way down in there.
I'm the malice wielding
Okay.
maniac.
Yay!
All right, let's not be silly. We're making a video for
Sorry.
folks. Okay, now we're going to put in the snap ring. This is going to be a little hard. This is one thing I wasn't sure you'd be able to do or not. So, here we go. This is the way it's going to go. The snap ring has to go in. You take the end of it and you put it in the little cutout right here in the bearing surface area. All right, let me see if I can add a little light to the picture. Okay. All right. Yeah, now you can see. See the little cutout? Well, we're going to start the snap ring into that area. All right, we're going to sit it down in there. Okay, and then we have to try to work it down into the groove using a screwdriver. All right, so there you go. There's your screwdriver. There you go, just like that. You want to hook it on there and just try to pry it over. Snap ring is installed. Bearing is held in place. Time for the next step. Moving on to step A3. Install the output clutch shaft in the front bearing with the threads pointed towards the cap. That fits down through the middle, but it needs to be lubricated. Okay, now slide that right through that hole.
This way first?
Thread it in first. Okay, slide it all the way in.
Do I pick this up?
Yep. Did it go all the way down?
Yep, it's turning the...
Nope, it's not all the way down.
Do I have
See?
to...
Let me show you. Okay? This part here has got to fit all the way up against there.
That's right.
Okay?
So I'm just gonna twist it.
We might have to help it.
With a little bit of
Help it.
Oh, okay. I see.
Okay?
Sorry.
This needs to be held up. That's all the way down.
Yay.
Okay? And now it's riding on the bearing. It's locked in place. The snap ring's in there. Everything's held in place. There we go. Okay? That takes care of that step. That was step A3. Now we are going to install the front wheel drive shift fork on the front wheel drive shift rod. That's going to be the short rod of the two over here, the shift rail. Lubricate
Should I hold it?
this part of it real good. Slide it in, it goes in that hole right there.
You answered my question.
Okay, and then fits down into there.
Like this.
Like that. There you go. That's installed.
Yay.
All right. Okay, we've already set and tightened the set screw, and it's already been lock wired, so we don't have to do anything more with that. Okay, now we need to install the clutch gear onto the front wheel drive shift fork with the large end to the front.
Need to do
You're
this.
going to lubricate around the outside there.
Alright.
Okay, now on the inside, flip it over. On the inside here, we want to put some grease. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to lift this back out. We're going to turn that piece over
Like this?
like that and slide it on this fork right here. Like that. Just like that.
Yay.
There we go. That has installed that part. All right. It's all the way down. And when it locks in place, if you look, when you turn the shaft, that part turns now too. Now pull up on the rod.
This?
Pull up, not way up, but a little up. Too greasy?
Yes.
Okay.
Very
We'll
much.
push up on it from down here. How's that?
Okay, that works.
Okay. All right. Now what happens? Go ahead. We're locked in. Let's see what. Now I'm still turning, but it's no longer turning this part. That's your front wheel drive. Okay. Let it back down. There we go. Locked in place. That is what makes a Jeep a four-wheel drive. That part right there.
That's amazing how
Okay.
small it is for how big the car is.